All right, hi, and welcome once again to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing Ready to Love episodes 1 and 2, and that is because I did not realize that the show actually had begun and that we are at episode 2 already. Can you believe it? But I could not miss up this opportunity because I really like this show. Last season was very good. And I anticipate that this season will also be nice based on many of the persons, the cast that is, who are on this show, right? And already some of them are showing their true colors, and we'll get right on into it. So, for this season, Ready to Love is being shot in Washington, D.C., and we get a feel of the contest. Yeah, I'm talking about contestants as if it's a pageant. But wouldn't you say that they are actually contestants because they're actually in a show where they are actually competing? They don't really speak about the competition, but obviously there has to be some form of competition if you are going to actually remain to the end, right? Now, this is the cast of men and women. There are 10 men to 10 women. And by the end of episode 2, two of them actually went home. Okay? One female and one man. One male and one female. Anyways, we'll get down to that. Um, in reviewing the episode 1 was very good. So too was episode 2. In episode 1, they brought back Jason and Liz, and I was not really a fan of Jason and Liz to begin with. However, they seem to want to show as though they are still in a relationship, but I doubt, as I've heard in other blogs, that Jason and Liz are actually together. Liz seems to be the type who wants a strong male, and Jason to me doesn't seem like a strong male, right? Of course, you can measure strong in various ways, but I strongly believe that Jason is the type, as his mother pointed out, the type that wants a woman to tell him what to do. And Liz does not strike me as that type of person. So for this season, I hope we don't end up with, a couple that actually are just doing it for the cameras, and that they truly fall in love. Because of course, this is Ready to Love, right? Now, some of the persons actually stood out to me, and one of the first ones was this guy right here. Yeah, he was very cute. Yes, he had all the boxes checked: dark, handsome, nice career. He's an electrical engineer. But when we dive deeply into what Cornelius is all about, I kind of saw a red flag in the fact that he said that he currently has no kids, right? And he is 39 years old. And of course, there are some women who are going to say, but no, that's a plus. He has no kids, and so I want to have kids with him. But I think you need to look at the fact that a man doesn't have any children all up to the age of 39, right? Should be some type of red flag, right? Just as a woman, if you don't have any children coming up to that age, yes, that's a red flag for a woman, 39 years old, and you don't have any children. What type of relationship were you in before why you did not have a child? Is it that you don't want a child, or is it that you have not settled down yet? In Cornelius's case, he's talking a lot about church. So he seems to be someone who believes in the church and probably wants to get married first before he has children. Um, but sometimes that is not realistic. So you have to look at those things, because sometimes you might end up waiting to get married, as Kenya Moore did, in order to have children. And then you find that the person who you are with, who you waited for, at the end of the day, this is not going to work, right? And then guess what? You have to end the marriage. Or even in the case of Kenya, having a child at 50 is not something that should be the ideal. Kenya has a lot of money. And so she can always, put together some form of trust that should, in case she passes on, her daughter is well taken care of. But if you have a male, right, who is having a child at 39, 40, right, at what age will that parent be when that child is in need of, financial support and other types of support growing up? So those are things that you actually need to consider. So yes, Cornelius was one of the red flags for me, and as we will see, a lot of the other men. Now, this guy right here, he took the cake, right? And I call him Mr. Copy Paste because literally, although he was the one who brought up the words, he aptly described himself because here he was taking everything um, to all of the ladies all at once. He did not save anything for later. He took his entire personality and showed himself out to these women, by going around and telling all of them to give him his phone number and to put their number in his phone. He literally was, you know, treating all of them in the same way. And to me, I think it shows that he is not someone, he's the type of guy that really does not value the feelings of women. So, as long as he gets what he wants. One of the ladies who he actually went up to and asked for her number, he actually brought her one side and she was like, but I haven't really spoken to him. We haven't had any type of connection. And yet he's asking me to go out on a date. I'm just meeting him. But if it were me, I would have just nicely put him in his place right then and there. Despite being on a game show, his approach was totally off and he was almost sent home. However, I think that Corey is good for the show in terms of the drama. And so I don't think Corey is going to go away anytime soon. Just like Troy last season, he will be there long enough to stir up some drama and to, get the show going and keep it interesting. So, yes, Mr. Copy Paste, we are here for you. We're here to see what you have next in store for the next episode. Now, his match would have been Camille here, who is a teacher, and she literally also gave what her personality was, and she labeled herself to be the Black Widow, right? Where she has no problem wooing and being all nice for her mate, but behind all of that beauty, she is going to actually be there entrapping you and trying to destroy you, right? So, that was a little bit too much information, but it is good when you meet someone and they do not hide who they are. They come out into the open and tell you exactly what you are working with. And I can respect that. So for both Copy Paste and Black Widow here, I can respect that you are not hiding exactly who you are. And guess what? For everybody, there is somebody, right? So each of them, they will find somebody who is willing to put up with whatever they have to offer. All right. So, but both of them are very good for the show. So we will watch out for Camille as well to see what she actually brings in later episodes. Courtney. Courtney is the pretty girl, pretty much, right? She has a bubbly personality, natural girl, and I will get further down as I speak of the other gentlemen. I'll tell you who Courtney actually matches with, right? I think it's Naeem. Naeem, he was saying he wanted a natural type girl, someone who wasn't wearing too much makeup all the time. or probably it was Dante. Not sure, but I'll get to it. But I like Courtney. She seems like a nice person. Of course, Courtney says she dated for 4.5 years and she had a child with a man, right? But it's interesting, why was she with someone who she had a child with, and with all of her beauty, that person did not end up marrying her. So sometimes someone can have a very nice, beautiful exterior, but behind all of that, there are some, not so nice things about them. But for now, Courtney's in my good books. She seems like a nice person. And probably she's one of the youngest on the show. So we have to say that, her looks is doing something for her, right? Now, this guy right here, Tyrone. Tyrone is 44. He's into cybersecurity. And Tyrone is another interesting one, right? I found Tyrone to be very creepy. And even the picture to me looks creepy, right? Um, he says he didn't, but I put it into the present to say he doesn't trust women, and that he has been in the past, treating women according to how he saw his mother. So he had some childhood traumas that he has been dealing with. And, of course, this is something that I have spoken about on my social media quite often, that many black men tend to hate black women because of the fact that they hate their mothers, right? We ourselves, we find it perturbing that, these black women gave birth to them. So how is it that they don't like other black women? But if we go back, it's probably because he has a problem with his mother. And the opposite also is true. When he loves his mother too much, and he becomes what we call a mama's boy. So you can love your mother too much, and you can also hate your mother to the point that you hate all women. So if you find that men are in who actually, again, he's telling you who he is, you need to believe him, right? So if you fall into that dynamic where you are a black woman, black like his mother, or you hear him tell you, oh, you remind me of my mother, that is something that you need to be wary of. So, Tyrone, I hope you and nobody don't get into it, for us to see exactly what trauma you're dealing with. I don't remember the other show on OWN. This guy kind of looks like him. Darian, not Darian, the other guy who was with the girl. I'll get back to it. I don't remember their names right now, but he reminds me of him. No, Aisha. Wow. Aisha, she looks like typical Jamaican girl who has found success on her own, whether it is because she had some sugar daddy that provided her with the finances to take care of herself, and she used those finances to go out and start her own business. And then from one person to the next, somehow she is able to acquire a lot of wealth along the way. And so she has been a kept woman, but is also very independent because she did not waste her looks or the finances that she was given. So she turned that into something. I'm not saying that this is Aisha's life, but as a Jamaican, she certainly reminds me of many Jamaicans who are able to migrate and how they carry themselves. So she seems like a woman with a lot of morals, but she knows how to get down, very fashionable, well polished. You would know of their past, right? That is what I'm getting from Aisha. But I think many of the men are going to gravitate towards her. And we see that in later episodes, she's going to get into a quarrel with, somebody else. But we'll see what happens with Aisha. Now, this guy I really liked. I hope he doesn't disappoint me. But Naeem, he seems like a very well mature man. He's 40. He's not old, middle aged, but you know, young enough to get into a marriage with someone. And in fact, he says he likes Caribbean women. He likes natural women. And from the looks of it, how he carries himself, he's well groomed. His clothing seems to be not the typical t-shirt and jeans. He puts some effort into his looks. And, listening to him speak, I think he is one of them that I am strongly looking to see him find someone and, ride off into the sunset. I hope the women are not just attracted to the no good men, but that the good men also get some of the shine. All right. Um, this girl, Moomin, 36, and she's a singer. And excuse me, she I thought would be a very good fit for Naim, right? Because she also is spiritual, right? And she seems like she is genuinely interested in having a relationship with someone on the show, right? And she says that she is willing to wait until marriage to have sex, and she wants a man to pursue her, right? And I believed what she was actually giving, what she was actually saying. And watching the show, it was kind of interesting to see Lizzie's reaction to this being said, that she actually was waiting until marriage to have sex. Because to me, it seems as if Liz believed that she was the only person who was being celibate before marriage. And even Cornelius is one of them who is being celibate, right? So, no, Liz, you're not the only person. But to me, Liz come off as being very condescending sometimes. So, I am not here for Liz. But Mumin, of course, she seems like a genuine person. And I can see her maybe with Cornelius or Naim. Either one of the two would be a good match for her. Now, Sabrina, it seems that everybody was, enthused, interested, wanted to be with Sabrina the moment they met her, right? And for me, I don't know about you guys watching the show, but yes, Sabrina seemed to be someone who, you know, aesthetically pleasing to look at. But how they described her, I was not getting that watching the show, as if she was, Kenya Moore pretty. But I'm not taking anything away from her. Everybody is beautiful in their own right. But Sabrina is not Miss World beautiful. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I did not see that. But most of the women were on the show were actually pretty. I thought it was only one lady. What was her name again? Um, I don't remember her name offhand. Let me see. What was her name that I thought did not have much looks? I will get back to it. I'll find her name. Well, I don't know their names that well as yet in order to just tell you off the top of my head which lady that was. But one of them I thought did not look so nice. I think it was Kerry. Yes, Kerry. She had the braided hairstyle. She was an interior decorator, divorced, right? But somehow probably it's her personality, but she seemed the least interesting according to Kim Kardashian. The least interesting to watch, to look at. All right. Now, This guy, no, Walter. Walter for me. He stole the show. Oh my God. Walter. Walter was a very attractive man, and he was able to capture a lot of feelings of, I'm sure, myself and other viewers when he spoke about his wife who died. And he said that he had actually helped his wife through school. That was, commendable. But unfortunately, a year after his wife died, now I'm sure that touched everybody's spirit. And it also touched Sabrina when he told Sabrina that on the show. And both him and Sabrina, from I feel, bonded right there. But what I don't want Walter nor Sabrina to do is to stick with each other just because you had a bond with the person from the day one. That was kind of what led to Liz and David's downfall, because they connected on being both Christians. Having one thing in common does not necessarily mean that the two of you are compatible. So I think Walter is going to be one of the guys who most of the girls are going to want to be with, and so Walter will have to spread his wings and fly, right? Um, but Walter and Sabrina, based on what they were both talking about, Sabrina saying that she had to take care of her mother, and Walter saying that he had to take care of his wife before they died. Both of them seem to have very good characters. Now, I think this is the last one. Yeah, he's the last one that I, yeah, found very interesting. There were some other people on the show, and going into other episodes, we will talk a little bit about them. The first two to be eliminated were Liba, Liba, and Lamont. And Lamont really needed to go. He was not interested either. He had no looks. He was too tight-lipped. No, not very vulnerable. He said he was married at 22 and that the woman he had cheated on him, but he did not seem interesting at all, not attractive. And Liba, of course, she seems a little bit kooky, you know. However, she said she's a woman who is divorced, and even talking about how she didn't want to have short men because she had problem with her knees. That was a little bit too much information right there. She didn't need to come out with that, right? So you can tell that some of these persons, they need some training on how to date or to find someone. But that was the two episodes, an overview really of the two episodes that I watched. It looks very nice, shaping up very nicely. And so I look forward to seeing what happens. Some of the persons who I thought were not mentionable was Frank, Phil, what's her name, Shiloh. They did not give me much in terms of their personalities. Tisa, of course, she was upset that she was placed in the bottom two females for the first elimination. And yes, you can be upset. You have a right to feel some type of way. But girl, you're on a dating show, and based on past seasons, you did know that there might be eliminations. So based on that, I think probably you are thinking too highly of yourself. Anybody can go when it comes to elimination. It's just all boils down to who likes you and who doesn't like you. So if they don't like you, you're going to be eliminated. And that is something that I always say, that, as a person, you should not find a problem when people tell you no when it comes to relationships, whether it is trying to find a job or trying to find a mate. If you go to a job interview and someone tells you that you are not being selected for the job, if you try to find someone to love you and for you to love, and the person says you're not the person for me, there is no reason for you to be upset, because what do you want? The other option would be to be in a relationship where you are not wanted, you're not loved. So it's best to know the truth so that you can adequately move on. All right. So that's my word there for Tisa. There were some others. Kerry, she's an interior decorator. Oh, I spoke about Kerry already, right? Carrington, he said his last relationship was 6 years ago. I thought that was a red flag too, right? How is it that you were not in any serious relationship and that you prefer a woman to take the lead? Big red flag right there. Oh, the other person I found to be interested was Dante. He is a deputy superintendent. Um, he has 3 children with 3 baby mothers. That's a red flag. However, when they showed how he spent his time, like he did rock climbing, he likes natural women, and he's a spiritual person. You can see why he has 3 baby mothers, because he seemed very interesting. I would sit and listen to him. All right. There was another lady, Zadia, right? Not interesting for me. But anyways, as I said, in the other episodes we can talk more. So that's it for my review for today. Thank you for listening. I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk next time. Bye.